What if I said that a creative practice of just 15 minutes a day could change your life? Where would you find those 15 minutes? Do you think it would be difficult to find them? Could you commit to a daily or near daily practice? I'm Cheryl Arkison, and I'm here today to talk to you about doing just this. In 15 minutes a day, you can find yourself calmer, more creative, and frankly, a lot more productive. Let me show you how it changed my life. For 12 years, I was a competitive swimmer, and then I spent another 6 years rowing. It's a lot of early mornings, a lot. That early morning habit, it continued into my 20s and life with roommates. They all thought I was crazy, but that morning time was the only moment when I felt like I was alone in the house. It was no different than when my kids were little. If I forced myself to get up before them, rather than be woken up by them, I got to enjoy some good solitude. So I started setting my alarm at least 20 minutes before I had to actually get up. It required an adjustment at the beginning and periodic readjustments, let's be clear. And at first, I would get up, I'd put the kettle on, I'd scroll my phone and putter around the house. Usually just as I settled in with a book or some writing, someone would wake up and poof, moment gone. Then I heard 4 small words that changed everything. Create before you consume. I heard these words from Marie Forleo. She could best be described as a life coach. Her website, books, and show are all about helping people reach their potential. And I happened upon an interview with her with Jarvis, the founder of Creative Live. Link is in the description below. So Marie was doing her enthusiastic thing when I heard those 4 words. Quite literally, they stopped my stitches. I was, after all, quilting with the interview on in the background. Her central argument is that before you do anything in the day, you should spend time creating. Period. Now, I'm a quilter and a writer. For me, the creative act involves sewing, sketching, putting words to paper with a pen, sometimes with a keyboard. Those are the moments when my creativity is at its peak, the moments where I truly feel like I am creating. And it is those moments that not only make me the happiest, but they are also the most productive. Yet there I was, shortchanging myself and my work by not prioritizing those same moments. For some reason, checking spam and likes became more important. Then I still had the audacity to get frustrated with myself that I wasn't getting anything done. So those 4 words, create before you consume, they changed everything. And as soon as we start consuming, we start comparing. And that's the worst thing for your creativity. Remember, comparison is the thief of joy, after all. But when we focus on our creativity, that's truly embracing ourselves. And it's allowing you to be you. So the next morning, I turned my alarm off on my phone, and I simply got out of bed. And I left my phone on the nightstand. I didn't even look at it, just hit off on the alarm and got out of bed. I went straight into the sewing room, clicked on my machine, grabbed the scraps that were sitting there, and sewed for 15 minutes. No tea, no shower, no social media, no news, no nothing. Just me and my creative act. The next day, I did the same thing. The day after that, I wrote a haiku. Me, a haiku? It was crazy. But within a week, it was a new habit, the easiest habit I've ever established. I call it my morning make. Morning make is a daily, or mostly daily, practice of creative action. It is completed before caffeine, social media, regular media, or even interactions with the family. Morning make is a moment, the moment, where one creates for the sake of creating, and the rest of the world just falls away. 9 years later, I'm still getting up before everybody in the house. Admittedly, it's not that hard because my kids are teenagers now. The kids used to say it themselves back then, and it still holds true. We all have a better day if mama gets her morning make. But why is it so successful? Here's the thing. Even if the world collapsed overnight, which it certainly feels like it's doing these days, learning about it 15 or 20 minutes earlier isn't going to change those results. So taking my moments to create makes me better prepared for what is happening. It makes me better prepared to face what is happening. That tiny change in perspective, as well as the habit itself, completely turned my world upside down in a good way. For one, I am way more prolific in my sewing, which is my most significant creative habit. In those 15, 20, 30 minutes a day, I can get a lot done, a surprising amount, really. It helps if you can do any planning or cutting in advance, so you can just sit and sew, paint, write, whatever it is. But that focused, uninterrupted time, that's golden. Second, I'm calmer. While I like the stretching of yoga, it isn't spiritually my thing. Same with meditation. But the notion of showing up regularly and being completely present, it's central to both of those practices, according to friends of mine who teach. That's exactly the same thing with morning make. That's why I do it with no media or entertainment or company or noise, just me and the creative action. I am completely present. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes and the more you see the benefits, like any other practice. And if I miss morning make for a few days because of, life, I definitely get antsy or more stressed. A regular practice boosts my creativity because, like any other muscle, your creativity grows when you use it. Many days, my morning make is the only creative time or sewing time I get. And it might not be long, but a lot can get done when you show up every day. Third, because of morning make, I've developed my creative muscle. It gives me the freedom to try new things or devote to ones I maybe missed for a little while. Creativity begets creativity, after all. And as a bonus, I found that I solve other challenges or problems during morning make. So for example, while sewing on one quilt, I might come up with the winning layout on another, or maybe I figure out a plot point in a book that I'm working on, or a sentence in an essay I'm writing. The brain just keeps going when you're focused and present on being creative in the moment. And finally, that focus has translated into way more productivity in the paid work that I do. I am less inclined to get distracted by social media because I just don't go there constantly. I haven't started down the path first thing, so it's easier to avoid. Think of it like this. If we have a potato chip or a peanut butter cup, it tastes good and it's nearly impossible to have just one, even though you know it isn't necessarily good for you. But if you never have the first one, it's easier to say no as the day goes on. Same with social media. So, what if you aren't a morning person? I get it. I'm married to a night owl. It's not easy. I think the key is finding a consistent time of day where you can turn off the outside world and tune in to your creative practice. It might be after the kids leave for school. Maybe it's when you arrive at the studio before you plug into the real work. Maybe it's right when you get home from work or after dinner or even right before bed. The key is finding the time and then sticking with it. Investing in yourself in this way. Here's 5 more tips to make the practice work for you. Number 1, leave the phone behind. In my case, it's often left on my nightstand or in another room entirely. If you can't see it, you can't be tempted by its distractions. Number 2, set yourself up in advance. Know what you're going to do before you start so you don't spend time prepping or thinking instead of creating. For me, this means having the fabric ready to go for sewing or a clean table with a good pen ready. Number 3, This is the time to play, not work. If you do have to make it work, make it a fun part of the process. This is not the time to baste a quilt. If necessary, number 4, set a timer. It can be easy to get in the zone and go longer. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes we have deadlines or the need to get kids to school or a 9-to-5 job that can't be ignored. Number 5, consider a project or a process that is just for this time, something you only do for morning make. Personally, I finished quite a few quilts made only during the time taken during morning make, or played with creative mediums in only this time, which end up fueling other things. Now, finally, if you are indeed doing this first thing, I want to strongly recommend doing this before caffeine, workouts, walks, or anything else. The dog can wait, the gym can wait. You can survive without the coffee or the tea. I promise. It's only 15 minutes. Get up, create before you consume. That's it. Me, these days, I've been hand stitching in the mornings. I just invested in a good light now that the days are getting shorter. Learned that lesson last year. And these slow mornings, they're just glorious and they set me up for a good day. To be honest, I'm not sure I would even do this much hand stitching if it wasn't for morning make, because honestly, when would I find the time to just sit and stitch? Remember what my kids said? We all have a better day when Mama gets her morning make. My name is Cheryl Arkison, and I am thrilled that you were able to join me for this little chat. Have a lovely day. I hope you find the time to play.